Hi, it's Randy from Reefs.com. I'm here with Mike Connelly, the MASNA student graduate student scholarship winner for this year. And Mike's going to tell us a little bit about his award-winning project and tell us a little bit about his MACNA experience.
Sure, thanks.
Welcome, Mike.
It's great to be here at MACNA this year. I'm a graduate student, third-year PhD student at the University of Miami at the Rosenstiel School of Marine Atmospheric Science, and my advisor is Dr. Nicky Traylor-Knowles. And our laboratory is really working to uncover mechanisms of coral innate immunity and really key in on how corals use their immune systems to interact with their bacterial consortia that live in their mucus layer and in their gastrointestinal cavities, and then also even within coral cells. And so my project here was working with Passalopera demicornis coral as a model species to sort of
common coral to everybody out there. Almost every one of you has one in their tank, I can almost guarantee it.
I think it's the common name is cauliflower coral. And we use it as a model because it's so hardy and it really performs well in aquariums. And so we put it through these stress treatments to with antibiotics treatments to disturb the bacteria communities that live on and within these corals, and then measure how their immune gene expression changes in response to these various treatments. And so what I wound up doing is last summer I was in Taiwan and I collected corals from at least 4 different sites in Taiwan, and then put them through aquarium experiments at the National Museum of Marine Biology and Aquarium there, which is a public aquarium facility that also maintains research laboratories for the scientists there. And so we put them through treatments at a control temperature at 28 degrees Celsius, and then I used antibiotics treatment, and then treatment with a heat stress for 48 hours. And then another treatment that used bacterial lipopolysaccharide, which is a molecule that is bound by certain types of immune receptors and causes an inflammatory response that we can measure and then compare the other treatments against.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah. And what we're trying to do is measure which genes are being upregulated or downregulated compared to the control treatment in several of these treatments, and measure how antibiotics or disruption of the coral bacteria community might affect how their immune system responds to these different
So it's
stressors.
really focusing on the bacterial biome around the coral as a regulating factor for the coral health?
Exactly, yeah. There's a lot of work that's been done looking at the zooxanthellae or the symbiotic that live in the coral, and what we're trying to do is answer questions about how corals are using their immune systems to interact with their bacterial partners as well, and maybe try and identify bacteria that might be beneficial to the health of the coral animal, that then we could develop sort of probiotic solutions to help corals better be able to withstand climate change stressors. Or
that's really interesting, because I think as you walk around the floor here, you'll see a lot of products that do attempt to address the bacterial components of aquariums and corals, but I don't know that there's really the research there to back up what they're doing. I think there's a lot of sort of like, this seems to be working, we think this is what's going on, but this kind of research to really show how bacteria is related to the host coral is
they're a huge part of the system, and actually one of the most interesting results of the study I did was we were able to find a subset of genes that were co-expressed together across all the treatments, that in treatments where there was the LPS treatment, the immune inflammation sort of standard treatment, they were all upregulated together in sort of a cohesive expression. But in treatments where I used heat stress, they're downregulated. That seems to show that when corals undergo a high temperature stress, their immune function declines or is suppressed. And I think that's really relevant for not only the conservation side of things, but the aquarium side of things. That shows that consistency in your aquarium's physical parameters is really important for the overall health of the coral and how it maintains its different symbiotic relationships. So that's
fascinating. What are the publication goals for this?
I think we'd like to expand the data set first. I mentioned that we had corals from 4 sites. At present, we've only done the sequencing work for corals from one of the sites. So we're expanding the data set, and we're looking for the large-scale patterns that are arising in these treatments. And then we'd like to publish it, I think, in the Society of comparative immunology work, and then also look for other kinds of journals that would be willing to publish it. So it's probably about a year or so away from publication. We really want to expand the data set, and one thing that we're considering is actually doing sequencing of the bacterial communities that are there, and so we can get a better handle on the effects of the antibiotics and how they're affecting the bacteria. So which bacteria are present after antibiotics treatment in what abundance, and then we can correlate that to shifts in the coral's gene expression patterns that we're working through now.
How's your MACNA experience been? Is this the first time attending?
No, it's not the first time attending, but it's definitely the best time I've ever had at a MACNA.
Okay.
The last MACNA I went to was in Fort Lauderdale in 2014, and then I also went to the Atlantic City MACNA when I was a high school student and just getting my start in the aquarium hobby.
I see. So you were a hobbyist before you became a marine scientist. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it really was my the aquarium hobby really was my inspiration for pursuing a career in marine research, and I've always been really connected to the hobby throughout my undergraduate studies, and now even as a graduate student. And yeah, the hospitality of everyone here at MACNA has been wonderful. I've met a lot of great aquarium luminaries, really, who've really pushed the hobby forward and made a real lasting impression on me. So I really I'm grateful to have the opportunity to meet so many of the inspirational figures that have helped me choose what I want to do and find meaning. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think MASNA made a wise choice this year. Congratulations again.
Yeah.